Hi everyone, Alistair Davies here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're looking at putting, and in particular we're looking at rhythm in putting and controlling kind of how your hands move and the club head relationship. And to do that, or to help that, we're using the GForce putter training aid. So this is a training aid with a wobbly shaft, and I'm not that strong, so I can move this and bend this pretty easy. If I go to move it like this, you'll see it's wibbly wobbly massively. So the idea behind it, obviously, it helps to move it correctly. And I'll show you some demonstrations in a minute. But if I try and drive my hands at it, you'll see here that the shaft reacts to that. Whereas if I can just move my hands and body and arms kind of like a lock and rock fashion, I get very good control of that club head indeed. The other feature it has to it, apart from being a fairly nice putter, is it has this groove cut out in the top. And the idea in that groove cut out at the top is it will show you an arc. Okay, so basically the shaft matches up with that groove. Now if I swing back and that shaft stays in that groove, that'll give me a 13-degree arc. Now if I basically lose that groove with the shaft, it'll give me a sense of visual feedback that my club has been moving in a different direction, in a different place. Club face opening too much, the club face moving on the wrong arc, and so on. So it also gives us that as well. So as a training aid, I like it. I've had a few requests from people asking for things they can do with the putting indoors in the off season. So this would be one I'd recommend, as well as things like the putting mats with the arc on, as well as things like gates to putt through for start line, as well as building your own station. So building your own station from your distance from the ball, your eye line, and you with your stance and ball position to make sure you're getting calibrated to be in the correct place every time. These would be the key things I would look to do indoors if you're in a snowy part of the world, or if the weather, just like we have here in the UK, has been so wet that you struggle to get out on the golf course. So the putter, as I said to you, it's a nice looking putter. It's a kind of milled face, but the real premise on it is you have to get the control of the movement, and I call it lock and rock. So we lock our hands in position with my putter grip. We stand as we would do a normal putt. Then if I try and hit a normal putt using my shoulders correctly, that was pretty good, a bit hard, then I'll be able to control that club face. Now if I try and give it a big wibbly wobbly, I can't control the pace, I can't control the club face. You look at the start line and that was way offline. If I tend to drive it too much from the transition area with my hands, you'll see here the club face reacts to that because the shaft lags and the face opens massively and the ball goes way right. So it'll give me that kind of feedback. I think from a coaching point of view, what we always want you to be is be consistent. When we look at very good putters, they have great rhythm, great timing and pace to their strokes. They will have what I would call hand control. So the hands are ahead at the start, the hands stay ahead, and then there's a slight release. So the butt of the club kind of points back almost to the belly button, definitely to the belly button with longer putts. But in the backswing, you'll see the butt of the club point to my collar of my shirt here. Now, if I do this in poor rhythm and drag the putter, I can't achieve these things I'm talking about. And when we look at good putters, the hands are passive and moving. Okay, so the shoulders are rocking, the arms are kind of locked in place, and then moving the hands, and then that's moving the putter head. And if the setup's done correctly, with the handle just slightly ahead, we're trying to stay in that position then, and kind of, as I said to you, we're trying to rock the shoulders back and forth, keep the pivot very quiet with the lower half, but the upper half is certainly rocking and moving away, and a setup allows that to happen. And what this device does then is allows you to get enhanced control with the club face and enhanced control with your rhythm to make sure you do that. So this would be a device I would definitely recommend for practicing putting on the greens and also for practicing putting indoors. And what you would do is whenever you have a bad putting round, you'd get it out and see how it feels. But you'd be using it as a definite constant, monthly or weekly, to make sure your stroke stays on point. Add that to calibrating your setup, and for me, that'll go a long way for knocking strokes off your game and lowering your scores and increasing your hole percentages on the green itself. So I'll put a link down below, and also I'll put a link within the video to the website for this, with possibly a code as well you can use to go and purchase one. They have got other training aids as well. There's a wedge, which I particularly like for pitching. They've got a driver, and they've got a mid-iron as well, like a 7-iron. So all designed to help with kind of the rhythm and flow and timing of how you move in the golf swing. I particularly like the wedge and the putter out of the products. I haven't tried the driver yet, but the wedge I particularly like because it encourages that kind of release of the hands through the ball, you know, to allow you to get the club head to overtake, which I particularly like with kind of the floaty, pitchy, spinning shots that we'd want around the green. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please hit like and share the video, and also chat down below and comment and tell me what you think of the video. Tell me what videos you'd like to see from me in the future. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't followed me or subscribed, hit my logo down this bottom corner. Join me on my journey, hopefully improving your golf and lowering your scores, and hopefully making you have more fun on the golf course too by playing better. So thanks for joining me today at the Forest of Arden. Hope to see you again here soon.